Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Crackin' for a Cause. I am your host, MrBevers, and I am joined today by the wonderful Lev Dev. Lev Dev, how you doing, buddy?
Doing splendid. Just a nice weekend. Actually had lunch with the family and such, and my uncle and aunt kind of went over. So we just had some nice chicken, and I just did some grocery shopping and such. It was a nice, pleasant Saturday morning.
Awesome. Enjoying the little bit of warmer weather we're having right now. I don't know whereabouts you are, but it's quite warm here compared to what we would normally expect.
Yeah, like we had a bit of snow like the past few weeks. It's safe to say.
Right? Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think you're sort of similar area to me. I'm in Southern Ontario, so like it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's like I'm in central, like I'm northeast and around Kansas, so we're kind
Hmm.
of go through similar like weather patterns and
Right,
such. Especially,
exactly.
it's like big storm front. Oh boy, expect snow.
Yeah, exactly. Get ready. Here it comes. Here it comes. Well, that's good. It sounds like you had a good weekend. Now, for all of you out there in YouTube land, of course, we're talking weeks ago at this point because this video will be live quite a bit after we've recorded it, but that's okay. That's the magic of the internet. You guys don't need to necessarily know that, but at the same time, I just didn't want you to really think that maybe the weekend that we were talking about was this weekend that you're seeing this video, because who knows? Maybe the weather's shite, right? Like, right? And then they're
Yeah,
like,
it's one of
What's
those.
that Mr. B
It's kind of the
talking
tricky
about?
thing about talking about weather on a video. It's like, oh, it's such a sunny day. No, it's
Right.
raining where I'm at.
Exactly. So anyway, why don't you give everyone a little spiel about who you are and where they can find you, so that way we can get them over to see your content.
Of course, my name is technically Jordan Leroy Hansen, but I'm also known as Lev Dev. I do a YouTube series where my YouTube channel is called Lev Dev, but it's kind of like in the process of being changed to the Brewing Labs and such. Basically, I do two videos there. I do Deck Tech videos, which is the Brewing Labs portion, but I also do Top Deck Thoughts, which essentially it's me taking a look at topics that are around either the card game community or a community in general, and just essentially giving a top deck thought about it, like 2 cents. Kind of like try to have a level-headed perspective because communities can sometimes get a little bit, boop, boop, and it's just sometimes it's good to have a level-headed kind of like look at it and be like, look, here's the details, kind of
Yeah,
that scenario. Other than that,
absolutely.
I do a Twitch channel where I do stream MTG Arena, but I also stream like pack crackings and openings. Like I opened a few boxes of Time Spiral last night. Speaking of which, foreshadowing. But yeah, I actually think I got the best pull of the night on right next to me, which is this foil Vezuva here. This is going into a commander deck soon as possible.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's so pretty up close.
I can imagine. So there you go,
But yeah,
everybody. You kind of had an idea of like when we filmed this video, maybe. That was correct. TSR did just come out this weekend as we were recording this video. So that gives you a little bit of idea of where we're at. But yeah, so make sure you go check out Jordan's content on YouTube and Twitch and all that good stuff. The Top Deck Thoughts, actually, I believe I linked to one of those from one of my previous videos on my Monday series. I think I showcased your channel once.
yeah, I think it was when I was talking about the Kaldheim reveal, if I remember correctly.
It's possible. Honestly, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know that I know that I showcased you for sure. That's for sure. Because I looked at your Top Deck Thoughts videos and I was like, this is a really cool idea. I like this like kind of like idea of just sitting down and having a conversation with your audience about different topics in a very like cool and collected manner, and being like, here's some interesting things to think about, right? Like,
Yeah, I'll be probably creating one with the whole like, and now we're just timing ourselves again with the Strixhaven reveal that's coming like on Thursday, I believe. So
something like
it'll
that.
be kind of interesting to make a top deck thoughts on that and just see pretty much what shenanigans that the set will bring.
So all of you out there should be able to go and see that video most likely by the time this video's out, because it should be out hopefully by that point. Because Strixhaven
Hopefully.
will even be possibly released before you're seeing this video. I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Statistically possible.
But yes, somewhere in there. But so anyway, we're getting a little sidetracked, but that's okay. We're gonna get back on track here, and that is, of course, we're doing a pack battle today for charity. If you're unfamiliar with the series, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Basically, we're going to be opening up a pack that Lev Dev has picked, and we're going to be doing a stipulation to see who wins. The winner chooses a local charity, and the loser donates to said charity. Now, we've been sort of bending that rule quite a bit lately, and both people are just donating, and that's not a problem, right? It's never a bad thing. Don't think of it as like, oh, you're breaking your own format. It doesn't matter. The whole point of this format is to have a little bit of fun, crack some packs, shoot the shit with a friend for a little bit, and give back to the community, right? So that's what we're all here for. I hope you all enjoy. But why don't you talk a little bit, Lev Dev, about your charity that you've chosen to send my money to today if you win?
Of course. The charity I decided to choose is the AANE, also known as the Asperger Autism Network. Now, the reason why I decided to choose this charity specifically is because one thing that people might not realize once they first see me and they're like, "Oh, such a a friendly guy," all that stuff, like socialize, like be able to communicate well. I actually was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome at a very early age. Like I couldn't talk till I was like 3 years old, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, so I had to pretty much go through a lot of support, thanks to support of my family and support of just essentially my local community around. That essentially helped me to just get to the individual that I am today. And this charity, essentially, their basic purpose is that they actually help support like fundraisers slash also community efforts to help essentially families with kids under the spectrum and such, and just help them to live to the best of their abilities.
That sounds awesome. I mean, like, I'm happy to send my money there, and I'm glad that a charity similar to this, or maybe even the same one, was able to help you yourself. That's awesome. Because as I would say, like, I mean, my first impression of Jordan here, Lev Dev, was that he's very charismatic, right? And you don't necessarily always attribute that kind of thing to people who have Asperger's, right? So, that's great that they were able to, give you the help and support you needed.
And I am very appreciative.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm happy to send my money there. So I hope you win, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. But I mean, I'm gonna probably donate regardless, but that's okay. That leads us into, of course, my charity that I rotate through. I rotate through 4 charities here on this series. So this week it's going to be Halton Women's Place again. That is, of course, a local women's shelter to my area that basically provides a safe place for women who are in need of any kind of support. Be it from abusive relationships, or be it from, just, needing some help with, being a single mom and they have kids and they need after school programs that they can't afford or whatever, things like that. So like, it just offers a great little place for women to go and get the support they need. So that's where I'm going to send your money if I win today, which is a great little charity here in my hometown.
And I wouldn't mind sending it anyway, even if I did win.
There you go. See, there we go. So, of course, that leads us into sort of the meat and potatoes of the series here, which is we're going to be talking about the pack we've chosen to open. And maybe some of you have guessed already by this point. If you have, leave a comment below right now. I don't know. I have no
like,
idea.
how are you gonna put a timestamp?
I don't know. How am I gonna know whether you did it? But anyway, the point is, we picked a pack, and by that I mean.
Speaking of time,
yes.
As mentioned before, recently released was Time Spiral. For those who don't know, Time Spiral Remastered is what they say is a remastered set, mostly designed for draft, though it's kind of hard to draft with current circumstances. But nevertheless, well, you still can do it on, I think, MTG online, essentially. But the basic premise is they take the 3 sets, which is Time Spiral, Plane of Chaos, and Future Sight. Wow, that was a brain fart there for a minute. And essentially make it into a draft set. So there's a lot of nostalgic card for people here, and they also include a old border card, which the old border card is pretty much any card from Magic's history and such. Now, this is going to be a challenge. The stipulation I decided to put for this pack is, since this is a card talking about time, talking about just, being nostalgic of the past, I thought what would be a fun one is the card that is most nostalgic to us, and whoever has the funniest kind of like nostalgic story from a card from the pack, will win the pack battle, right, so to speak.
And that's now, a great little stipulation. The only problem I have is that I didn't play during the original Time Spiral block, so I'm not going to have a lot of memory of the cards that are in here, except for maybe the old border card.
Oh, same. Like, there's 2, maybe 3 cards that were originally from, I believe, the original Time Spiral that I do have a nostalgic story to talk about. So if we get to that, that would be kind of like the KO move, so to speak,
right,
I guess.
Cool. That sounds good.
But we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely the old board, especially since a lot of the cards were from Kaladesh they showed off in Amakat, which those were sets I played heavily during Standard during my time.
Right, that makes sense. Well, why don't we get right into it then, and let's crack these packs and see what we find. So
Sounds like a game.
I like to hold my pack up to the camera and just kind of show off the commons one by one like this. Now, I mean, mine's not super in focus. You'll need to go a little bit. Yeah. Oh, you're a little too close to camera, but there you go.
Like this.
Yep, that's perfect. Yep.
So Green Ignis.
Yeah, and I've got a sliver here. Battering sliver. Yeah. Okay. So a lot
really
of slivers
funny elemental.
in this. I actually opened some of this last night myself, like you did on stream, and I opened up that white sliver, the 5-drop white sliver with flying and like put your slivers.
Oh yeah, the
right?
one that was like, oh, how much was it before the reprint?
I don't know. I have no idea. But like I opened it and I was like, what is this sliver? And I was like, is this a new card? Everyone was like, no, this is a reprint. And I'm like, how have I never heard of this card before?
Sometimes that's the funny thing about looking back at an old set. Sometimes you find
right?
cards that you'd never realize.
So I had a snapback as my second common, and I think you had, what is that, a 4C I'm seeing?
I had a Primal Plasma. The next card is 4C, which
it's a little
the art on this
there.
is always
you have to bring it into shot there. There we go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You're all good. And I got a brute force. Anyway, you were saying about 4C?
Like I said, the art's very nice on this, and just the scry effect actually works for that new commander that essentially anytime you scry, you draw a card. Very nice.
Now, see, I have memories of playing 4C quite a bit back in
the
day.
You did?
Because it wasn't only in Time Spiral, right? It was also reprinted in one of the other sets. I don't remember what it was, like maybe original Mirrodin or like Kamigawa.
Oh yeah,
somewhere around.
Hey, there's a classic commander card there.
Wow, yeah. And the art on this Search for Tomorrow, I was talking about this last night, is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And the card I have is
the
Synchrophage, yeah, I believe is the name of it.
It's like the Carnophage, like to the max. Is that what they call it? I don't know.
It's just like
yeah, it's like super angry.
The Fertile of the Hunt.
And I've got a, what is this? Feebleness. It is.
Not bad removal for sealed.
Yep, for sure. Oh, there you go. This was a much needed reprint.
Oh yeah, like it was great to see that card for commander players everywhere. That's probably going to be going into my Tazri party deck.
For sure. And this is like one of those things, is like I don't think a lot of people think about Edge of Autumn as an include, right, in a lot of decks, but it's actually not a bad little card, right?
It's not, actually. It's one of those ones where people kind of, unless you know about it, you don't really play it, but then once you kind of know about it, especially if you're in a multicolored deck, you're like, wow, that makes a ton of sense.
For sure. And
hey! Gaston Raiders. No nostalgia, but the art's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I've got a Judge Unworthy here, which is, I can't even really tell like what this art is. It looks like it's some sort of thing.
I feel like it's like banished. A hand, like I kind of think of it as like a lightning punch kind of scenario, but I legit don't know what's going on.
It looks like a demon or something, like being pulled into some sort of weird vortex.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
That's what it kind of looks like. I don't know. Anyway, the next one here for me.
Momentary Blink. Nice.
That's a good one. Momentary Blink's a great little card. And I have a Strangling Suit. I was talking about this last night as well, this card, because this is a removal spell at instant speed that has flashback, which is interesting.
The Mass of Ghouls. Oh, hey, here's a classic one if you played.
Yeah. Shadows over Innistrad, or was this? It was Avacyn Restored that had the initial printing.
I think Avacyn Restored had the initial reprint.
Yeah.
I think.
Because it's the Avacyn's Collar that's getting like just destroyed by a werewolf or something in the art, I think, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But still, that's a callback. And old art. Sporloff Ancient. The only thing I'll say with this is I did have a friend who, when I was playing local EDH with, they always had the sapling deck, so I always had to like look at these cards and be like, what does this do?
Right?
Why do you have Fahrenheit as your commander? Oh.
So I have nostalgic memories of that card as well, because I had the same thing. I had a friend who was very big on Saprolings, and he was just like, I'm building a Saproling deck, and it's the only deck I have. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, and they were pretty much happy with when I think it was in Rivals of Ixalan where that Sapling Lord pretty much came out with the City's Blessing.
Yeah, Tendershrew Dryad.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the one. And I got an
Ooh,
Amaru
Dread
Scout.
Return.
This
we
is
start with our uncommons.
Yeah, this is your first uncommon, right? And then my first uncommon is a phantom worm. It's less exciting than Dread Return, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's just fun to play this in Commander, especially since I do like Graveyard Strategy, so always a classic little staple to play with.
The only nostalgia I have about this one is that it's not actually this card. It's the phantom creature cards just in general.
Yeah, like the one I remembered is the Tiger one that got the reprint with the Seth McKinnon art, or was it originally printed with Seth McKinnon art?
Phantom Nishuba.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking of too. I played with that card so much back in the day because I think it was from Invasion, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good. That's pretty good.
I think that's where it was from, but it was a very good card. I mean, it wasn't a good card, but like back then at Kitchen Table, it was very good. Well, there you go.
Okay, this is the one I haven't seen before.
I got one
Hinchfiend of Ukur.
And I got one of these good slivers here, the Dark Heart sliver. This is the one you sacrifice this permanent and gain 3 life, right? Which is pretty good for sliver decks.
And I got one that's essentially a 4-mana free 2 with haste that has Echo for 1 in the black, but you can spin Rakdos to pretty much fire breathe it. It's interesting. I can see that for limited. And we got a Cloud Seeder. That's a cool card.
Okay, and I've got an Enslave, which this is an interesting one, right? Because this is a blue mechanic in black, right?
Yeah, this was, I believe, from the Plane of Chaos where they color shift every of the cards. So, hey, there's Mind Control, but basically, it's on a black card.
Yeah. And then at the beginning of the upkeep, it deals 1 damage to its owner, which that's kind of weird. So you control it.
But so your opponent has to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, your opponent takes the damage every...
Yeah, it's kind of like an insult to injury, I would say, if that wasn't a Magic card already.
That's absurd. That doesn't sound like a very fair Magic card at all. I'll take your thing and deal damage to you every turn. So now we're into the hot
rares.
The hot cards here, right? Oh. Okay.
That's some sauce there.
That's a card right there. That's a Gemstone Caverns.
Yeah, if we were playing based on rares, you definitely won.
Yeah, now that's an upshift too, right? Like this.
Yeah, that was a rare, I believe, in the original Time Spiral.
Was it? I don't even know if it was a... Because Gemstone Caverns was reprinted, right? In Time Spiral, right?
I believe so.
Or am I thinking... Maybe I'm thinking of Gemstone Mine?
You could be thinking of Gemstone Mine.
It's a different card, yeah. Because that's Gemstone Mine is a uncommon, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Still, pulled one of those, I think, or actually 2 of those last night. So, great card for like internal formats, and also just fun for Commander for casual play or serious play.
I saw your tweet where you pulled almost a playset of chalices, though, out of your 2 boxes.
I still can't believe that.
That's pretty nutty. That's awesome, though. So yeah, so I mean, like, I have no nostalgia to this card at all. Let's be honest. I've never played with it.
Like, Hivestone is cool. Like, one thing I might consider is I have a Tazli party deck essentially for EDH where it's just like it's like awkward shenanigans where essentially I might just throw Hivestone in and just throw some powerful slitters in there just for fun, or maybe my awkward Knights deck potentially because that's also has that kind of same gimmick with Maskwood Nexus make.
Right.
Everything a creature type of their same.
Yep, for sure.
Well, I guess we're now relying on the old border, so let's see.
I just want to say that, like, so I just read this card because I've never read it before. This is an absurd card for Commander.
Oh, yeah, it's a really good Commander card.
Wow. All right, so we're going on to old border. Let's see.
It is.
Mine's an artifact.
Molten Rain.
Mine's an artifact.
Ooh.
Oh.
The Panharmonicon.
So, like, this is not super nostalgia based, but I mean, Panharmonicon is in so many of my decks.
Yeah, when I had a Yerard deck, it was an auto include.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yours, however, I have more nostalgia about that card than I do about this card.
Really?
Yeah, so because back in the day, Molten Rain was a card that was played a lot at my kitchen table with my buddies in high
Ah,
school, and it was because there was specifically one guy who just loved blowing up other people's lands. Like that was the only thing his deck ever did. Like it was just like he didn't really have a win con in his deck other than I make it so that you can't cast your spells because I just blow up all your lands, and you're like, but you're still not killing me, so like the game's just
yeah.
going on
The
forever,
classic plight of all land destruction players.
right?
It's like,
Yeah.
I destroyed your lands, but you haven't won the game yet. Yet.
Yeah, yet. Okay, yes, you're not wrong, I guess. But
I
yeah, so
don't.
I mean, like those are some good hits though, right? And then
Yeah,
I've got a little Griffin token here just in case
I
people
got a
want to
little
see.
kobold.
Oh, the Kobold's nice. So I don't know.
That was
What do
hard.
you think, Jordan? I mean, like,
The problem is there's not really any cards in here that's like nostalgic. Like if there was any madness cards, I would definitely be having a story, but really the only thing here is just a few like cards for me, just like essentially like Dread Return since I do like my Reanimator shenanigans, but that's not like really nostalgic. That's just like, oh hey, you play Reanimator, but
this was a big one for me, because this was printed in Kamigawa.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, this was printed in Kamigawa, and I played a lot of kitchen table Kamigawa with like Boros Samurai, Bushido, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of memories for me there. I don't have like any particular one where I'm like, this is where brute force won me a game or anything like that. But there was definitely a lot of brute forces going on with Bushido cards to like essentially kill other creatures because of like one extra point of damage because of the Bushido with the brute force.
Yeah.
So
It's always the little stats.
mhm,
Yeah, for
yeah,
me, I think the most nostalgic for me is actually the thing you pulled, which is Panharmonicon. I played so much with Yarok and just with the Mirror Maid shenanigans. And
so
also, I
many.
did a lot of standard brews around Panharmonicon.
Yeah. So I did a standard brew with Panharmonicon with when Ixalan came out.
Oh, well,
Because
what's the gimmick?
it was specifically a Journey to Eternity deck.
Oh, that's awesome. Like Journey
Yes,
into Reanimation, maybe with the Explorer
correct.
package, I presume.
Exactly. So it was like it was all
Nice.
about what was that, Thrashing Brontodon, and you equip him with the Journey and then sack him to target the Journey, but the Journey flips into a land, and then now you have all of these creatures that are in the graveyard that you can bring back that trigger twice because of Panharmonicon being in play. It was a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
sounds like
fun.
an amazing deck.
It was a lot of fun to play. Like I still have it together. Actually, I don't know where it is, but I have it together still in paper, and I play it at like my Friday Night Magics with my friends when we do kitchen table stuff. I mean, we
Oh,
haven't
that's
done that
awesome.
for like a year now, but like it's still together for when we can finally get back together and we can finally play again.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say you won the packs because you had more fun, nostalgic memories with it.
Okay, that's fair. But I mean, I'm still going to donate to your charity as well. So there you have it, folks. I am the champion, supposedly, this week. Not that it matters because we don't really have a loser here in this series. You should be
Nah.
seeing those two donations popping up here in the middle of the screen, showing you that we both donated to our charities. And of course, big thank you to my co-host today, Lev Dev or Jordan, for being here. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Why don't you give everyone a little spiel about who you are and where they can find you again in case they fast forward through the video?
Of course. Anyway, as noted before, Jordan Hansen, also known as Lev Dev. I do a YouTube channel where it's Lev Dev, but I do two type of videos. I do the Brewing Labs, which is essentially MTG arena deck techs, both in standard and historic. I also do Top Deck Thoughts, which the basic premise of Top Deck Thoughts is just essentially take a look at current like issues or current like things that are happening within the card game community, like new sets, announcements, all that, and just give my quick 2 cents. I also have a streaming channel, which is Lev Dev as well, where I just stream mostly MTG Arena, but once in a blue moon, sometimes I'll try a different game just for fun.
There you go. And the links, of course, should be in the description below for all of Lev Dev's content, but also both of the charities that we supported this week should be there as well. And if you can give, we would greatly appreciate you doing so. And I know the charities would as well. So if you can give, please do. If you can't, thanks for just being here and watching. Thank you for your support. And as always, may your pulls ever be better. Bye, everybody.